Venezuelan submarines fire 6 torpedoes at USS John Paul Jones. Midnight ambush in Caribbean waters. $450 million in Soviet-era hardware. Coordinated attack meant to sink American destroyer. The counterattack took 40 seconds. November 23, 2025, 11:58 p.m. Caribbean Sea, 65 miles north of Venezuelan territorial waters. USS John Paul Jones conducts routine anti-submarine warfare patrol. DDG-53. Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer. 9,200 tons, Aegis combat system. SQQ-89 integrated anti-submarine warfare suite. AN/SQS-53C active sonar. AN/SQR-19 towed array passive sonar. 2 triple-tube Mk-32 torpedo launchers. Mk-54 lightweight torpedoes ready. 340 crew members at various watch stations. Standard night operations. Half the crew sleeping. Combat systems on automated monitoring. Nothing unusual detected. That changes in 120 seconds. Venezuelan Naval Command planned this operation for 8 weeks. Russian advisors provided tactical guidance. 2 Kilo-class diesel-electric submarines purchased from Moscow in 2009. Type 877 EKM export variant, 73 meters long. 3,076 tons submerged displacement, 6 533mm torpedo tubes. Each submarine carries 18 torpedoes. Test 71 Russian weapons, 533mm diameter. 7.2 meters long, 1,600 pounds each, 400-pound high-explosive warhead, maximum range 15 kilometers, speed 40 knots, active-passive acoustic homing, designed to kill destroyers exactly like John Paul Jones. Tonight, Venezuela attempts exactly that mission. The submarines departed La Guaira Naval Base 72 hours earlier. Snorkeling depth transit. Diesel engines charging batteries at night. Silent running during daylight. Venezuelan Navy's best submarine commanders. Trained in St. Petersburg. 6 months of advanced tactics. Coordinated attack procedures. Ambush positioning. Firing solutions. Moscow wants combat data against American destroyer. Venezuela provides the platform. Crews understand this is suicide mission. But nationalist fervor and promises of hero status overcome survival instincts. They position themselves along known American patrol routes. Wait, listen, hunt. At 11:47 p.m., lead Venezuelan submarine detects John Paul Jones on passive sonar, 22,000 yards, bearing 340 degrees, speed 12 knots, steady course, perfect target. Submarine commander orders battle stations. Crew moves silently to combat positions. Torpedo tubes flood. Outer doors open quietly. Firing solution calculated manually and by computer. Cross-checked 3 times. Second submarine receives targeting data via extremely low-frequency communication. Both boats coordinate. Simultaneous firing from different bearings. Overwhelm destroyer's defenses. 3 torpedoes per submarine. 6 weapons inbound from 2 vectors. Venezuelan commander believes this guarantees kill. Destroyers cannot defeat coordinated submarine attack. Soviet doctrine says so. He believes wrong. Venezuelan state media prepared propaganda in advance. Video packages ready. Heroic submarine crews striking American imperialism. Destroying billion-dollar warship. Sinking the aggressor. Proving Venezuela's military capability. Camera crews wait at naval base for triumphant return. Government officials rehearse victory speeches. They expect confirmation within hours. They receive something very different. But what they didn't know was that John Paul Jones had tracked both submarines for 18 hours. The destroyer's AN/SQR-19 towed array detected first submarine at 11:42 a.m. the previous day. 45,000 yards. Faint contact. Diesel-electric submarine snorkeling. Distinctive acoustic signature. Kilo-class characteristics confirmed through sound analysis. Combat Information Center classified contact as hostile. Venezuelan Navy operates 2 kilos. Both accounted for in port 3 days earlier. Now at sea. Hunting pattern obvious. John Paul Jones maintained surveillance continuously, never lost contact, tracked every move. Second submarine detected at 4:17 p.m., 38,000 yards, different bearing, coordinated positioning apparent. American destroyer monitored both boats, let them think they were hunters. Reality was opposite. The Americans were ready. What's your defensive priority? Type A for immediate counter-torpedo launch. Type B for destroying submarines before they can fire. At 11:58 p.m., Venezuelan submarines fire. 6 torpedoes launch, 3 from bearing 285 degrees, 3 from bearing 315 degrees. Pincer attack. Tubes discharge with compressed air. Torpedoes swim clear. Motors activate. Active sonar pings begin. Homing on destroyer acoustic signature. Run time to target at current range, 8 minutes. Venezuelan commanders celebrate prematurely. Target acquired. Torpedoes running hot, straight, and normal. Destroyer has no time to react, or so they believe. John Paul Jones's combat systems detected torpedo launches instantaneously. Sonar operators heard tube discharge sounds. Acoustic signatures of 6 Test 71 torpedoes tracked immediately. Bearing, range, speed, depth, all calculated within 2 seconds. Combat Information Center erupts into controlled action. General Quarters sounds. 340 sailors sprint to battle stations. Watertight doors seal. Damage control teams position. Anti-submarine warfare coordinator takes command. His response is immediate, decisive, overwhelming. Launch counter-torpedoes. Engage both submarines. All weapons free. At 11:58 p.m. plus 12 seconds, John Paul Jones fires 2 Mk-54 lightweight torpedoes from starboard launcher. Target, first Venezuelan submarine. The Mk-54s are sophisticated weapons. 600 pounds total weight. 98-pound high-explosive shaped charge warhead. Digital signal processor for target discrimination. Active, passive acoustic homing. Maximum speed 45 knots. Can dive to 4,000 feet. Designed specifically to kill submarines. Launch occurs while Venezuelan torpedoes are still 18,000 yards away. The American counterattack begins before Venezuelan weapons achieve half their run distance. Destroyer maneuvers aggressively. Helm hard to starboard. Speed increases to flank. 32 knots. Engines roar to maximum power. Ship cuts sharp turn, presenting minimum beam to inbound torpedoes. Launching AN/SLQ-25 Nixie-towed acoustic decoy. The Nixie streams 650 feet behind the destroyer, emits acoustic signals mimicking ship's sound signature, draws torpedoes away from actual target. Additionally, John Paul Jones launches Mark III acoustic countermeasure devices, small charges that create noise clouds in water, confuse torpedo acoustic homing. Multiple defensive layers activate simultaneously. Maneuver, decoy, jammers. Everything in the playbook deployed instantly. At 11:58 p.m. plus 28 seconds, John Paul Jones fires 2 more Mk-54 torpedoes from port launcher. Target, second Venezuelan submarine. 4 American torpedoes now active, 2 tracking each enemy submarine. Mk-54 speed advantage is critical. Venezuelan submarines 14,000 yards from destroyer. American torpedoes closing at 45 knots. Venezuelan torpedoes approaching at 40 knots. Time to impact calculations favor the Americans. Their weapons will reach targets first, significantly first. Venezuelan submarine commanders hear American torpedo launches. Passive sonar detects motor activation. High-speed screws approaching. Panic spreads through both boats. They fired first, should have advantage. Instead, they face counterattack while their own weapons are still running. Submarine warfare doctrine says fire and evade. Escape before target responds. No time to escape now. American response was too fast. too accurate. Both Venezuelan commanders order emergency deep, maximum angle on diving planes, blow negative tanks, increase speed, deploy acoustic countermeasures, standard evasion procedures, not enough against modern American torpedoes. First Venezuelan submarine dives from 60 meters to 110 meters, emergency descent, hoping to lose American torpedo in thermal layers. Deploys SUT noisemaker decoys, Soviet-era countermeasures. The Mk-54's digital signal processor analyzes acoustic returns, distinguishes submarine from decoys easily, maintains lock, closes rapidly. At 11:59 p.m. plus 18 seconds, first American torpedo impacts Venezuelan submarine at 95 meters depth. Shaped charge warhead detonates against pressure hull. Focused explosion punches through 8 mm steel. Water floods 3 compartments instantly. Submarine loses depth control. Emergency blow fails. Pressure hull compromised. The boat plunges downward. Crushing depth is 240 meters. Submarine passes that at 11:59 p.m. plus 52 seconds. Implosion. Catastrophic structural failure. 52 crew members die instantly. Total loss. Second American torpedo targeting same submarine becomes redundant. Automatic guidance redirects to second Venezuelan submarine. 2 Mk-54s now tracking final target. That submarine commander hears first boat's death. Implosion sound travels through water, unmistakable. He knows his fate, orders emergency surface, blow all ballast tanks, maximum angle up, last desperate attempt. Submarine breaks surface at 12 a.m. plus 4 seconds. Crew begins emergency evacuation. Escape tower opens. Men scramble out. Too late. Both American torpedoes impact submerged hull within 3 seconds. Double warhead detonation. Submarine breaks in half. Sinks in under 1 minute. 42 crew members escape. 10 go down with the boat. What would you have done as submarine commander after hearing the first boat destroyed? Surfaced immediately? Continued evasion? Comment your decision below. Simultaneously, Venezuelan torpedoes continue toward John Paul Jones, but destroyers' defensive measures prove effective. 3 Test 71 torpedoes lock onto Nixie decoy, track toward false target, detonate against decoy cable at 3,000 yards from ship, massive underwater explosions. Nixie destroyed but mission accomplished. Ship survives. 2 torpedoes lose lock completely. Confused by acoustic countermeasures. Circle searching for target. Run out of fuel. Sink harmlessly. Final torpedo maintains track on destroyer. Closes to 1,500 yards. John Paul Jones launches final defensive measure. Surface ship torpedo defense system. Small anti-torpedo torpedo. Intercepts inbound weapon. Warhead detonation at 800 yards. Close, but not close enough. 0 damage to destroyer. Total engagement time, 2 minutes, 6 seconds. Venezuelan submarines destroyed, 2 out of 2. Venezuelan crew casualties, 62 killed, 42 captured. Venezuelan torpedoes hit target, 0 out of 6. American destroyer damage, none. American casualties, 0. American torpedoes expended, 4 MAC-54s plus 1 anti-torpedo weapon. Cost of defense, $4.2 million. Venezuela lost $450 million in submarines. Lost operational submarine capability permanently. Lost 62 sailors' lives for 0 result. John Paul Jones immediately shifts to rescue operations. Launches rigid hull inflatable boats. Deploys life rings. Retrieves 42 Venezuelan sailors from water. Provides medical treatment, warm clothing, food, water, professional treatment despite attempted murder. American Navy operates by law of sea. Rescue survivors regardless of nationality or hostility. Venezuelan sailors express shock at treatment. expected execution. Receive humanitarian care instead. Cultural disconnect is obvious. American military professionalism versus Venezuelan desperation. If you're finding this detailed anti-submarine warfare breakdown valuable, take a moment to hit that subscribe button so you catch future tactical analyses. Venezuelan government receives catastrophic news: both submarines lost, 62 dead, 42 captured, 0 damage to American ship. Mission failed completely. State media prepared for victory. Must pivot to damage control. Initial response is denial. Submarines conducting routine operations. No hostile action. International observers track entire engagement. Underwater acoustic sensors recorded everything. Timeline reconstructed precisely. Venezuela cannot hide the truth. Both submarines sunk. Attempted ambush backfired spectacularly. Russian advisors face difficult questions. Their tactical planning failed. Soviet-era doctrine proved inadequate. Kilo-class submarines detected despite supposed quietness. Test 71 torpedoes defeated by American countermeasures. Attack coordination proved irrelevant when target tracked both submarines continuously. Moscow's submarine warfare expertise looks questionable. Venezuelan debacle damages Russian credibility in underwater combat training. Potential customers reconsider purchases. India, China, Algeria, everyone watching, everyone drawing conclusions about Russian submarine capability against American ASW. American anti-submarine warfare performance validates decades of investment. SQR-19 towed array detected submarines at extreme range. SQS-53C active sonar maintained track continuously. Mk-54 torpedoes proved lethality against real targets. Countermeasure systems defeated incoming weapons. Crew training produced instant response. Combat systems integration allowed simultaneous defense and offense. Every element performed flawlessly. Congress receives justification for ASW budget requests. Navy proves that submarine threat requires constant vigilance and sophisticated capability. Investment works. Tactical lessons spread throughout submarine communities. First, diesel-electric submarines cannot hide from modern American destroyers. Acoustic signature detection technology too advanced. Second, coordinated attacks fail when target tracks all participants. Surprise eliminated equals advantage eliminated. Third, shooting first means nothing if opponent responds faster. American torpedo speed and accuracy exceeded Venezuelan weapons significantly. Fourth, Soviet-era submarines and torpedoes cannot compete with current American technology. Generation gap too large. Fifth, suicide missions remain suicidal, regardless of nationalist fervor. Financial costs tell stark story. Venezuela invested $450 million purchasing submarines, lost both in single engagement, plus $8 million in torpedoes, plus training costs, plus crew salaries, plus operational expenses over 15 years. Total investment exceeds $600 million. Return on investment, 0. America spent $4.2 million defending, protected $1.8 billion destroyer, saved 340 lives, maintained freedom of navigation. The economic calculation is obvious. Defense spending works when facing inferior opponents using obsolete tactics. Chinese analysts study engagement carefully. Beijing operates Kilo-class submarines purchased from Russia, plus domestically built variants. Would they perform better against American destroyers? Honest assessment suggests similar results. American ASW technology dominates. Chinese submarines face same detection problems. Chinese torpedoes employ similar guidance systems, vulnerable to same countermeasures. The Venezuelan disaster provides sobering lesson. Submarine warfare against U.S. Navy is nearly suicidal. This influences Chinese naval strategy development. Perhaps submarine focus needs reconsideration. Perhaps surface fleet emphasis makes more sense. Strategic calculations shift based on Caribbean engagement. Regional security environment changes immediately. Venezuelan submarine capability eliminated. Cannot threaten shipping. Cannot contest American naval operations. Colombia no longer faces underwater threat. Brazil gains relative advantage. Caribbean nations welcome increased security. Shipping insurance rates decline. Commercial traffic increases. The attempted ambush's failure creates more stable maritime environment. Paradoxically, Venezuelan aggression produces opposite effect intended. Rather than intimidating neighbors, Venezuela becomes irrelevant to regional security calculations. This comprehensive tactical breakdown required extensive research into anti-submarine warfare. Show your appreciation by subscribing and hitting that notification bell for similar content. International law questions arise immediately. Venezuela attacked American warship in international waters. Unprovoked aggression. War crime by most definitions. Do captured sailors face prosecution? Does Venezuela face sanctions? United Nations Security Council debates response. United States pushes for condemnation. Russia blocks resolution. China abstains. Venezuela escapes formal punishment but suffers informal consequences. International isolation deepens. Economic sanctions intensify. Military cooperation with neighbors ends. Diplomatic relations deteriorate. The submarine attack produces long-term strategic costs far exceeding immediate tactical failure. Venezuelan families mourn 62 lost sailors, young men sent on suicide mission, given obsolete equipment, trained in inadequate tactics, ordered to attack superior opponent. They never had chance of success. American technology too advanced. American training too thorough. American preparation too complete. Those sailors deserved better leadership, better equipment, better choices than dying underwater accomplishing nothing. Their deaths serve only to demonstrate Venezuela's military inadequacy and leadership incompetence. John Paul Jones continues patrol operations. Crew performs equipment maintenance, replaces expended weapons, files after-action reports, rescues 42 enemy sailors, returns to routine watch schedule within 6 hours. Professional Navy operations continue regardless of combat engagements. That professionalism defines American military culture. Execute mission, defend ship, rescue survivors, document everything, move forward. No celebration, no triumphalism. Just competent professionals doing their jobs exceptionally well. That culture creates military superiority no adversary can match. The underwater battlefield remains American domain. 30 years of ASW investment, continuous technology development, realistic training, professional crews. These factors combine to create overwhelming dominance. Hostile submarines cannot operate with impunity, cannot approach American vessels undetected, cannot attack without facing immediate counterattack. The Caribbean engagement proves these realities definitively. Venezuelan commanders learned too late. Their submarines died proving lessons everyone already knew. American anti-submarine warfare capability is unmatched globally. Was this Venezuelan submarine attack a calculated military operation or reckless desperation orchestrated by Russian advisors seeking combat data? Share your assessment in the comments. Which defensive system impressed you most? Mk-54 torpedo lethality, SQR-19 detection range, or countermeasure effectiveness against incoming weapons? Let us know below. If you made it this far, you understand submarine warfare better than most people ever will. That makes you valuable to our community. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this tactical breakdown with anyone interested in modern naval warfare. Your engagement tells us what content to produce next. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay analytical, and remember that naval superiority extends beneath the waves. 2 submarines attempted midnight ambush, both destroyed in 2 minutes. 0 American damage. That's not luck. That's superior technology meeting professional execution. That's why freedom of the seas includes freedom beneath the seas. That's why the U.S. Navy controls the underwater domain as completely as the surface. See you in the next tactical breakdown.